What's up, family? I'm making this video just to remind you to never stop learning, ever. And don't be surprised who you can learn from. You can learn from somebody who's 85, and you can learn from somebody who's 5. One of the biggest issues we have as a human being from a young age to an old age is that we think we know everything, you know? And it's something that we have to deal with, for many different reasons. But always be open to learn. When I see older men, you know, I always ask them for life advice. I say, hey, if you got anything you could tell, a 39-year-old man, or when you was 39, what would you, say? Most of the time I get some really good advice. Sometimes, it's in between, but most of the time I get some really good advice, and I'm just open to learning. Even the way kids are and how carefree they can be, and just how happy they can be with the quote unquote bare minimum. You know, how they use their imagination, because we never stop being able to use our imagination. Everything comes from imagination. Everything that you've done so far, from getting jobs to creating businesses to creating families to planning vacations and trips and all that. That all started in your mind first. You had to imagine yourself on that cruise, or imagine yourself working at that job, or imagine yourself starting that business, or imagine yourself getting married or whatever. So we never stop using it. It's just, what are we using it for? So just understand that, it's it behooves you to stay open to learning, and don't let your pride get in the way, because my grandfather's 90, man. Life can be very long, so you never know, and you don't want to, you know, think about 30 years. I'm 39, then another 39 years. I want to be the same person I was at 39, you know? So you just gotta, think about that. I always be open to learning. Read. If you don't like reading cover to cover, read audiobooks. If you're driving, just switch it up sometimes, you know what I mean? A lot of times I don't even listen to music that much. I listen to a lot of, I listen to a lot of different things. I'm not gonna lie to you. But, and music's great to listen to, depending on what music you're listening to. Like, certain people I don't listen to no more because they get me in a different mode. Shout out to Darkman X, But, music's great too. It is. But, never stop learning. And you'll be surprised what you can learn from. Like, I went vegan because I was watching Snoop Dogg's podcast. And, he had a guest on there. He was talking about vegan. And then I started, watching stuff on Netflix, documentaries. There's three. There's Forks Over Knives, What the Health, and Game Changers. Yeah, those three are like the greatest documentaries on food and how food affects the body. But yeah, man, never stop learning, never stop growing. That's the beauty of life. And I know that it can get daunting because, you failed and you made mistakes and and there's always some, challenges, but you're up for it. That's why you learn. You're sharpening your knife, you know. You're sharpening yourself. You're getting better. You're getting better. You're getting better. You're getting better. But never stop learning, and don't shut off who you can learn from, because the problem is the young people, should be listening to the old people, and the old people should be listening to the young people, and getting both perspectives, because the old people got the knowledge and the wisdom, and they've been through a lot of what you've been through as a young person, and they could put you on game, and then the young person could put the old person on game, because they can show them what's hip, what's popping, what's the move. Any, technology, fashion, culture, music, lingo, whatever. You know what I mean? We need each other. We need each other. So I'm always open to learn from somebody if, they're cool. Because, you can learn from assholes too, but, I can't tolerate assholes but so much. I ain't got no time for it. Where I'm from, the bullies get bullied, as they say. But anyway, always be open to learning. Never stop learning. And as you learn, let that knowledge, evolve you into a place where you ain't got no time for the BS. Because it's too much violence, it's too much BS out here, it's too much crap. And that's hindering you from ascending to the person that you need to be. Because it's not just about who you become for you, but it's who you become for others. Because you don't know how much you mean to somebody and how important you are to somebody. And the better you are, the better they are. So keep learning, keep growing, emotionally, mentally, physically. Going to the gym is really good. It's really good for the mind, body, and soul, especially the mind. Going to the gym is excellent. You're not just, you're not just building your body. You're building your mind when you exercise. So it's really, really good. So you know what I mean. Even if you do a little bit of exercise, something's better than nothing. Stretching is really important. Stretching, technically, is more important than exercise. You should be stretching every single day. You should be moving your ligaments. Think about, like I said, being a child. Children move all the time. We can't lose that. You got to keep moving. Got to keep going. Got to keep going. Got to keep going. Got to keep going. Not saying don't chill, because you got to stay out the way too. But you got to, keep moving in the right direction. So keep learning. Keep reading books, man. Like they say, they want to hide something from a ninja, put it in a book. We got to read, my people. We got to read. Don't wait to get locked up to read. You ain't got to get locked up to start reading. And that's another thing. We got to stop getting locked up. That's a whole nother video. We're playing around. We're being slaves to the system. Wake up. Stop. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But we gotta know that there's a trick so we can stop falling for it. God bless us all. Peace.